We're now less than 30 days away from the first Republican primary debate, and while the candidates hit the campaign trail, they've also spent a lot of time in the studio. You don't show up to a debate unprepared, and each of these men have teams of people helping them craft their message and rehearse their lines. It's a lot like preparing for a big movie premiere. The candidates are the stars, but behind the scenes, there's a whole team of people making sure they look good. Now, I'm not saying these debates are fake. Of course, the candidates believe in what they're saying, or at least they say they do. But the truth is, a lot of what we see is carefully constructed. The fiery clashes, the unscripted moments of tension, even the history-making moments. In fact, some debate moments are so iconic because they were rehearsed so meticulously. Here's a quick history lesson. Back in 1960, John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon went toe-to-toe in the first televised debate of the modern era. It was a cultural phenomenon, watched by over 60 million Americans. And in the aftermath, everyone was talking about Kennedy's effortless cool and charm. Except that might have been a performance. Historians have since learned that Kennedy's brother Robert fed him softballs and coaching cues during commercial breaks. And those iconic moments of connection with the audience were planned ahead of time. Ever since then, presidential debates have been a mix of spontaneous combustion and method acting. Now, if you want to win the presidency, you have to master both styles, the spontaneous and the scripted. Your reactions have to be authentic, but your answers better be razor sharp. So how do you prepare for something you can never quite predict? Well, the modern campaign spends months in advance crafting what's called the book. Basically a binder filled with everything the candidate needs to know, every potential topic, every possible angle, and of course, plenty of zingers. This is the product of months of research, writing, editing, and focus grouping. Every page has to be memorized, which is why candidates spend hours upon hours running through these scenarios. It's a bit like studying for a final exam, except the test is conducted by millions of people across America. It's the ultimate high-stakes game of 20 questions. If you don't know the answer to any of them, you could lose the whole game. Once the book is done, the team has to pick a strategy, which generally means picking between two styles of debating, the Mike Tyson approach and the George Foreman approach. The Tyson strategy is all about delivering one knockout punch, creating one devastating moment that will dominate the headlines and define the whole debate. This requires careful choreography. For months, your team studies the opponent's record, looking for the one fatal flaw, the one issue that could sink their campaign. And when the moment is right, you strike. You needle them on that topic again and again, hoping to put them on the defensive and force a mistake. This is the art of the attack ad. You keep coming back to the same point, hammering away until you've made your case. The downside, of course, is that if you miss, you don't have a lot of other options. That's why this approach is usually reserved for truly epic rivalries. Think of it as the heavyweight bout of debate strategies. The Foreman approach, meanwhile, is a lot more practical. It's not about the knockout punch. It's about taking the fewest punches and staying on your feet. This is the infomercial strategy. You absorb the hits, you stay calm, and you keep selling your product. The goal is to seem unflappable, to project an image of steady, reliable leadership. Think of it as the strategy for the long haul. A boxer with this style might not land the knockout punch, but they also won't get knocked out. In the end, the goal is the same for both approaches, getting your candidate across the finish line. Sometimes that means going for broke. Sometimes it means playing it safe. But either way, the whole thing is carefully rehearsed. There are no big surprises. The fiery clashes, the tense moments. It's all meant to give you a certain feeling, the feeling that anything can happen. Because when it comes to politics, maybe it's all just a performance.